Coming up next on Headline Humboldt, we examine a proposed project for Samoa Peninsula that could see a contaminated industrial site cleaned up, while also providing some 150 jobs to local workers. Marianne Ness from Nordic Aquafarms sat down with us and gave us an update on their proposed fish farm project. Also, Monday marks the 30th anniversary of the 1992 earthquake that saw Ferndale rocked to its foundations and Scotia's business district go up in flames. A new film explores that event and gives us a dramatic glimpse into the past. Coming up now on Headline Humboldt. Live from the top of Humboldt Hill, this is Headline Humboldt. I'm James Falk. Thanks for joining us. In high school, I distinctly remember leaving my house for school every morning, often under a low sheaf of coastal fog, and glancing across the bay at the tower that forever bled smoke into the heavy sky. That view was iconic for Eureka residents at the time and became a kind of symbol for the troubled past of extractive industry, as well as an unsettled future where the jobs would disappear, but not the rusted bones of exploitation. Even more than the view, I remember the stench. The pulp mill was famous up and down the California coast for assaulting the nose. Whatever was coming out of the mythic smokestack stank like moldering chemicals and always seemed to me to be a primary reason the sun seldom found our backyard. Now, all these decades later, a company based out of Norway has a plan to clean the site up, refigure all the organs of industry, and once again make the former mill site a source of living wages and gainful employment. Lots of plans have been proposed for the Samoa Peninsula before. Over the years, there's been exporting gigantic bags of local freshwater to an explosive scheme for processing liquid natural gas, among others. This one, though, may have found the right approach. They've engaged environmental groups from the start, working to address their concerns, and have remained remarkably transparent about what they do and why. Only time will tell if our famously fickle politics here on the North Coast will give the go-ahead for this ambitious fish farm project, but this week the process got well underway. For the interview, we sat down with Executive Vice President Marianne Ness of Nordic Aquafarms to talk about the project presentation that would later be given to the Humboldt County Planning Commission. Although the project is broad in size and scope, there was little fanfare at this week's presentation. More is expected in May when hearings start. But as the company gears up for the debate that could well shape its future on the west coast of North America, Ness seemed confident with the proposal and whatever debate may be in the offing. We're here tonight with Marianne Ness. She is the Executive Vice President of Nordic Aquafarms, who has been trying over the last several years to make a rather massive investment on the Samoa Peninsula and remediate a problem site that has sort of blighted the industrial landscape of Humboldt County for a long time. That would be the former pulp mill site. I'll have you know that my uncle worked there when it was a pulp mill, and I've had several family members go in and out of there. It's sort of a dirty institution, and it was the reason a lot of people thought that there was much kind of an odor about Humboldt County for years and years. So I think there's some symbolic value in seeing something serious and productive being done at that site. Now, one of the things you guys have done is you've done a draft environmental impact report, right? And from some reports I saw that it was 1,800 pages, something along those lines?
Yes, and it will be an additional, probably close to 1,000 pages.
So something, around there in terms of height?
At least you can, submit it electronically. In Maine, we had to hire, U-Haul to get all the documentation in. So, yeah, it's a pretty lengthy, document. It's taken us, 3 years to develop. So.
Yeah. One of the things that I've noticed, I've been in this area a long time, I've worked at several news outlets and various positions, and I've seen a lot of proposals come and go, especially for the peninsula. I mean, there were water bags at one point. Someone wanted to take water from here and ship it down south. There was an LNG facility that was proposed for out there, and it's historically been very contentious to get anything done. People have an ongoing debate locally about whether they want to preserve their quality of life, the rural sort of wilderness-friendly, eco-groovy, quality of life here, or if they want to attract real jobs and real well-paying, employment. It seems like, from what I can tell so far, you have done the best at sort of merging those two visions. You have some concerns from environmental groups, sure, but they're not knee-jerk against your project, which I think is says something. What would you say your response? What would you say the response has been so far from the community, including people pro and against? What have you seen?
Well, we met with a lot of people. We just counted the meetings that Lynette and myself have had over the last 3 years, and we're close to 750 meetings with the community.
Wow.
And different meetings, presentations, site tours, etc. So. And we try to listen. That's why we decided to go from a ISNMD to an EIR last year. Because
the EIR is a more thorough document, right?
It's a little bit more thorough, but a lot of the same studies are, based, that we base the ISNMD on is still used, but it involves, more involvement from the public and more assurances from the public that they will be heard.
Yeah. Okay. So you've been trying to actively engage folks.
Yes, we have, and I think that's important. We're building this facility for the next 5, 6, 7 decades, and people need to eat in the future too. So it's important to be a good partner in the community and listen to people's concerns, and hopefully we're able to answer most of them. Yeah,
I have a few that I'll mention to you just to see if what you want to say. Obviously. We'll start with a positive. According to the North Coast Journal, there's been some significant support from the labor unions and real estate groups and educational institutions. You've gotten letters of support for your project. Let's talk a little bit about what the economic and what they focus on primarily is the 150 good-paying jobs and what that'll mean for the community. Do you have any sense off the top of your head of what that looks like in terms of financial benefit for Humboldt County, both immediately and downstream?
Well, I think when you build like an anchor business that we have, you attract other businesses as well. And there's so many ancillary businesses and services that we need. So, the 150 jobs that we have will probably be multiplied by 2 or 3. Yeah. So it will create, good jobs in the community. I think also, what's interesting in Humboldt, you're so entrepreneurial. So a lot of people are interested in, building businesses off what we're doing. Which it's a great asset to the community as well. Yeah. And of course, it's a fairly big facility, so we pay a significant amount of taxes. It's not determined exactly how much yet, but there will be contributions. Yeah. And
that goes directly into local government coffers, obviously.
Right, and we were working with CR to develop a aquaculture certificate and associate program.
I was going to actually ask you about that. Yeah, that's exciting. So people would be able to potentially get trained at CR and then come to work for you guys or some of the other companies that are around.
Or transfer to Cal Poly as well for a full bachelor's or master's degree. So, and I went to grad school in Eugene, and it's kind of the same feeling here that people want to stay. So I think you have as I always joke, you probably have the highest educated waiting staff, in the country because people want to stay here. So I think there's a lot of talent that we can use in the community that we can give, interesting, good jobs. So we're looking forward to that.
Excellent, excellent. An untapped talent pool that is probably anxious and willing to go to work. So electricity is one of the issues that people were talking about, that this is it's going to require a lot of power. Yep. Some figures I saw was 21% of the county's total electric demand, which is as much as the city of Eureka and Fortuna combined. Right. Now, part of the mitigation measures for that is that you guys are planning on building your own solar facility on site, 4.8 megawatt.
Well, the solar facility is, it's required, but it's only a small part of it.
Yeah, only 3% or something from what I read?
Yeah, probably 4, around 4%. Because you don't have sun at night, of course. It's pretty foggy out there too. So. But we have committed to, and it will be part of the commitments in the permit and the EIR, that we have committed to use 100% renewable and or non-carbon. Okay. We have said that we need to purchase what's available in California, and the classifications may change, by the time we're done, but it will be carbon neutral.
Okay, and you commit to that? Yeah. Excellent, excellent. One thing people have said is that maybe you guys are banking on that renewable pledge, that banking too much on the possibility of the wind farm developments because they may not come to pass. Do you feel like there's a question about whether that might come to be, or and if not, are there other ways to get there?
Well, the way it works in California, and as we've said, we have to purchase whatever is available. And if we're still in dialogue with RCA or other providers to see who can supply the energy. Whatever they buy, that's renewable, and they have a commitment to be 100% renewable as well. They might have to import it or buy credits, and we might have to do that as well. But it's carbon footprint is a statewide, global, and national problems. So buying clean power will help the planet, ultimately, anyways.
And it sounds like you're saying that your company is committed to that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we have, voluntarily worked that into, and the commitment in the permits as well.
Now, there was some concern about the treated wastewater that will be, released into the ocean, and that it's warmer than the surrounding ocean. Some people were concerned that it might contribute to toxic algae blooms, or maybe further warm the ocean that's already obviously getting warmer and in some ways is too hot. Do you think that's a valid concern, or do you feel like you guys have mitigated that thoroughly?
I do not think it's a valid concern, and I can explain you why. First of all, the water is treated. We take out 99% of the nutrients. If you had, a net pen, for example, everything goes into the ocean. Here we take it out. Also, we have that discharge pipe with the diffusers, and the ocean plan has, pretty strict requirements in terms of temperature, so we need to cool down the water before we discharge it. And then it's diffused through the ports in that, the outflow pipe, and it goes to background level within 5 feet.
Okay.
So it blends into the ocean within 5 feet, so you wouldn't be able to notice it. So, yes, there are fairly strict regulations in these permits, and the water is drinkable. It has a salinity of 26.8 parts per million thousand, but it's still, except for the salt, it's drinkable. The fish live in it, and the fish are pretty,
Yeah, they're pretty good indicators of whether something's livable or not.
Yeah, and they would react to bad water. So yeah, we're pretty confident that we will not contribute to any algae blooms, and that's usually a bigger phenomenon that you don't see. And if you compare it to discharge from or inflow from the rivers, which is much more and warmer and fresh water and full of nutrients.
Algae in it a lot of the times.
Yes,
some of the river water.
And I don't think it's going to be the tipping point either. We have some good illustrations showing, compare it to what was actually in the water, and I think we're on the safe side, and we're on the cautious side, and that's important to us. The company was founded as the first land-based facility in Norway, and we got the first R&D license. And the whole idea was to take a problem out of the ocean and put it on land, because we saw that as the future.
Yeah.
Yes, you do use some energy, but you don't fly it in like you do, today.
Yeah.
So the whole idea was to take a problem out of the ocean, because the ocean, is suffering.
Yeah.
And
now,
that's
is
important
that
for
like
us.
an overfishing problem, or what would you say the problem was that they're trying to address?
The biological environmental problems with having fish farms in the ocean.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fish farms particularly,
And if you look at the pens they have in the ocean, everything is just dumped down, and any kind of life will die with it around it, and then you have to move it and leave it fallow for a while. So and you have sea lice, you have algae blooms, you have global warming the oceans. So there are a lot of challenges that you need to address, and that's why we decided to build it on land and take it out of the ocean.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the position or the opposition that seemed to make the most sense to me, although in a grand scale, I think that it may be even less relevant, is the Humboldt Fishermen's Marketing Association's opposition to the project, because they say that there's a possibility that there may be viruses that infect wild fish, and this is the part that struck me, that you're competing with Pacific wild-caught salmon. That's what they feel like is their concern. How do you respond to those folks? I mean,
we had, we've talked to the fishermen for, throughout the 3 years we've been here, and we have also agreed to disagree on some of these issues. The market is growing. There's a huge seafood deficit in the world. 90% is imported here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is imported by air freight. There's a huge deficit. The market is big enough for everyone.
Yeah.
When it comes to viruses, no. The eggs that we use are tested, and they pretty strict requirements to get the eggs into California. They're quarantined, tested again, and then approved and released into the farm. Everything is all the water that comes in is treated, and is continuously treated, and is treated before it goes out. Yeah. So and it goes through a 0.04 micron filtration, and it takes out the viruses. So there will not be any viruses released from the facility.
Yeah.
And we do everything we can to keep our facility we have a high level of biosecurity, so to keep it safe for our fish as well. So
yeah, absolutely. So now, as I understand it, you have there's a facility plan for Maine as well, right, which would deal with Atlantic or Pacific salmon, or how does that work?
We're doing Pacific salmon on the
well, I'm wondering.
Atlantic.
Yeah,
no, we're doing it. We're proposing Atlantic salmon for both of them.
For both of them, okay.
It's the species that has been cultivated and domesticated for fish farming over decades.
Okay.
So it's the best fish to farm at a large scale at this point. So yes.
Now, where's the price point going to be in terms of for consumers when the farming is done and you're shipping out to market? Where can people expect to see it on the shelves?
We're shipping fresh fish into the market, so most likely in the fresh case. Price point, it will be, I would say, somewhere in between like the imported farmed Atlantic salmon you see today and the wild-caught salmon, somewhere in between.
Excellent. Now, there's a model facility, is that right, in Norway that's operating right now? That's based on the same technology?
We have 2 facilities in Denmark and 1 in Norway.
Okay.
Well, the technology is improving and developing.
Yeah.
So the facilities that we propose here in the U.S. is even better. We've kind of learned and we worked our way through. We built it stone upon stone. So these facilities are they're larger, so they have higher level treatment, for example, to mitigate for potential impacts.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of experience with fish farming, and we're one of the more experienced RAS players in the world, actually. So and people ask, this is so much bigger than the one you have or the ones you have in Scandinavia. And that's true, but basically what you do is that you build many smaller farms. Basically build a small farm and replicate it. So you get the benefit of the scale for all the supporting infrastructure that you have to do and all the investments you have to do. So basically a farm like this is many, many smaller farms.
And so basically you kind of just slowly scale up too, and you are able to problem solve with the previous iterations of that project, right?
You are, and you will build it in 2 phases, and you get to run it here and see, take out all the, commissioning issues that you usually have when you start, operating a facility. And we have some really, excellent people, excellent, fish farmers with us. So they've done this for decades. So
you and Eric Black, a KEET contributor, have gone out to the site to take a look around and see the site that you're going to be working with for the farm. Can you talk a little bit about that?
It's a pretty dilapidated, site at this point. It has been a Superfund site, EPA Superfund site, which is good because they've taken out some of the, contamination out there. But there's still, plenty left that we need to clean up. Yeah. And the structures are, more or less falling apart. So it is a hazard out there right now. So you will, a lot of people that I met here in the community haven't been out there, so we have toured the site and to inform people. And I think most people are quite surprised that when they see the state of the facility today. It's a lot worse than it looks from from a distance. From a distance,
yeah. Now that's a considerable investment to clean that place up, right?
It is, yes.
Do you have any sense of how many months of operations or years you'll need to be able to make good on the cost of just making that site workable?
Well, that's only a small portion of the investment. We're building it too. So, but you need to build a certain, size to build it, not only to demolish it, but to to ensure that the site is suitable for any kind of seismic or tsunami activity. Yeah. So it is a huge upfront investment to build, and that's why also it requires a certain size. But yes, you will, and then once you build it, you gradually build up what's called the biomass, which is like the fish stock. Yeah. And so it takes quite a few years to to go break even, but you will have a good business once you're up and running.
Yeah. Wow, it's a lot of wrinkles to manage. You mentioned that you've done something like 700 trips, something like that, back and forth, or what was it?
Oh, no, meetings, or here in the community.
Okay, yeah.
So meetings, presentations, site walks, and we spend a lot of time, with Lynette Mullen, our community liaison, and then our new community liaison, Stacy Atkins Salazar. So we have good partners locally that have introduced us to the community. So we met a lot of people, which we think is important. It needs to be a fit with the community, and we need to listen to people's concerns as well. So
What's your impression of Humboldt County after all that networking? I mean, has it changed since you started, or?
No, I like it. I mean, people are friendly. I like the way, you know, people are concerned, and they're concerned about their community. They ask questions. I think they ask, you know, good and, you know, rational questions. And no, to me, I really like it up here. You know, I live on the East Coast, you know, for the time being, but I went to school on the West Coast in Southern California and Oregon, and I like the, you know, the people, the attitude, and the engagement. You know, people are really engaged, and it's a diverse and, you know, interesting community. So I think and that's actually one of the things that we looked at when we found, you know, the site for the farm, because we are going to, you know, employ a lot of people, and we want to develop a good, stable workforce. So you need to be in a livable community. Yeah. You don't want to place a farm in a place where, you know, people don't want to live. And raise their families. So that's been important to us. And I like Humboldt. It's a great place to be.
You're from Maine most of the time? Is that where you're living right now?
Well, yes, of course, I'm, you know, originally Norwegian, but I live in Maine right now, yes.
Are they similar, the two areas? I mean, you have a project going on over there, and they seem like they're similarly situated.
Well, the town that we're in Maine has the same kind of level of engagement, but it's a small town on the coast of Maine. Maine and California are quite different. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll leave it at that. Is there anything else you'd like to include?
No, we're just excited to finally get to this stage where we can present the project, you know, in front of the Planning Commission. So we're looking forward to it, and looking forward to see, you know, the response in the community as well.
Excellent. I think that people are excited to hear about it. They've seen the rumors and they know something's going on, but I think this is going to be the first chance they're really going to have to kind of flesh it out and start to kick the tires a little bit. So
great.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this short break.
On Studio Space, Blake Regan's vivid colors and nature-inspired designs brighten up walls all over Eureka. Julian Lang is a Karuk elder and painter. His work features Karuk words and phrases, keeping the language alive and present. Studio Space explores Northern California's vibrant art community.
Almost exactly 30 years ago, Humboldt County was struck by the first in a series of earthquakes that caused significant damage and chaos on the North Coast. These so-called Cape Mendocino earthquakes cause massive coastal uplift and are the subject of a new film by videographer and HSU graduate Thomas Dunklin. The film will be released on Monday, the actual anniversary, but we're happy to give you a brief preview tonight.
April 25th, 2022 is the 30th year anniversary of the 1992 Cape Mendocino earthquake sequence, when 3 large earthquakes occurred in the vicinity of the Mendocino Triple Junction. The 3 quakes produced over $60 million worth of damage to homes, businesses, roads, and bridges. Fires broke out in the towns of Scotia and Petrolia. Steep slopes failed in the forms of landslides and rockfalls. Liquefaction occurred along river margins, and the coastline near Petrolia was uplifted up to 4 feet in places, killing thousands of intertidal organisms like mussels and gooseneck barnacles.
Right here is one of my favorite field stops in the whole Cape Mendocino area. We have this beautiful view of the coast, of this flat, and it also shows us something about what is going on here geologically. Back in 1992, after the Cape Mendocino earthquakes, it was immediately noticed that suddenly it looked like we had a low tide all the time. And if you look very carefully, you can actually see outlined in that flat the remains of prior coastlines. This is an area that pops up repeatedly in great earthquakes, most recently in 1992.
In 1974, Pacific Gas and Electric was asked by the Atomic Energy Commission to find out about the hazards that affect the power plant. And in order to do this, we built the Humboldt Bay Seismic Network. That was Terra Corporation. So the network was about 16 seismographs, one of which was just north here, down by the Triple Junction. And the idea was to find out, what the tectonics were of this area.
We need to understand that one earthquake might not be the whole story, that we have to psychologically be prepared that we could have a number of very strong earthquakes over a period of seconds, of minutes, of hours, or days. And having a better understanding psychologically and in terms of preparing your home and community really can make a difference.
When the world, as it always does, weighs heavy on your shoulders, there are a ton of methods for clearing your head and your heart of all that stress. Some people paint, there's exercise, there's disc golf, there's actual golf, meditation, and even traditional therapy. But the greatest of all time, the best way ever to de-stress when the world's got you down, as Ryan Hudson reports, it's goats.
As the stress of working within a strained caregiving system coupled with a viral pandemic continues to weigh on local hospital staff, Providence St. Joe's has decided to bring in some therapeutic reinforcements. Baby goats, as young as 2 days old, are being made available courtesy of Francis Creek Ranch out of Ferndale. I spoke briefly with St. Joe's Hospital CEO Roberta Luskin-Hawk, who came by to meet the kids. Does staff have to take time from their shifts to come out here? Can they also do it apart from a shift?
Either way, so they get breaks in their day. If they want to use a break to come, they can certainly do that.
Okay.
But I think some people are coming in even if they're not working just to come in and cuddle a goat.
And then, of course, this is supplemental to other things that you're doing to maybe address root causes of stress, yeah?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of wellness initiatives and services available. Some of them, virtual therapy, apps for yoga and meditation. There's really a full spectrum. It's one of the values of being part of Providence is we have a lot of resources. We're also doing a lot of work with our chaplains. This has been an incredibly hard couple of years, and more recently, some more stress in our emergency department. So it's just hard. This is just a little glimpse of hope and soothing efforts in the midst of a much bigger initiative.
Absolutely. And then, so staff are coming from all departments, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and the way we did it is we did it Monday at Redwood Memorial Hospital, yesterday on our general hospital campus, which has rehab and inpatient, outpatient rehab, and today here. Hospital staff filed in to enjoy the experience.
What other types of stress relief therapies or outlets have you been able to access?
My manager sends out some videos through emails, relaxing things, and meditations that we can do, which are nice options.
This is better?
Yes. It's more hands-on.
Yeah.
And then we can, see how it's comforting other people around us and ourselves as well. So.
Okay. Thank you. For Headline Humboldt, this is Ryan Hudson.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Stay informed.